Hello, my name is Henry and welcome to the Lenzerheide World Cup. So it's been a couple of weeks since the last round in Austria, and in that time I've been kicking about France. Everyone had moustaches and I thought maybe I should grow one, but perhaps, well, hindsight's 2020. Now, in the intervening weeks when I've been growing this monstrosity, the World Cup teams have been hard at work. I hear there's some new bikes, I hear there's some new brakes, so let's go have a look. So we're here at the Gamux pits. Now, their sort of downhill bike has been around for a little while and it's a long time in the prototype development. However, something I just thought was really interesting that I wanted to point out. If you look at the difference in these down tubes, that one has some kind of a serrating edge going down, and that's to basically affect the torsional stiffness of the bike. Now, when we have carbon frames or alloy frames, they'll often be butted or they'll be hydroformed in alloy or indeed moulded to certain shapes in carbon. And that's to achieve a similar effect. But obviously, we can't see inside the tubes like we can see that CNC'd frame. And I think it's actually really interesting. So the bike, as you probably know, is a high pivot bike with a gearbox. And Gamux, I believe, do consultancy for other brands. So I imagine this exercise in their own bike is only going to help them better develop other people's bikes, which sounds like a pretty good business model to me. So we're here at the Continental Nuke-Proof pits, and they've had this carbon downhill bike going about for a while. Interesting enough, they've also got a Giga here in the foreground. And I think it's really interesting because I heard a rumour many years ago, probably 2019, that Nuke-Proof sort of arrived at the Giga by putting a single crown fork on a descent and trying to set it up for enduro duties. And so in some ways, I wonder if the Giga, which was developed by the Descent, has then helped develop this new carbon downhill bike. There isn't too much detail I'm gleaning about this new bike, though I would say it does have an adjustable rear end, and I would expect adjustability will be a theme, as they are with a lot of new downhill bikes.
Are you using any specialised creams for your...
Honestly, it's such a car crash because it's a gap in the middle and blonde at the edges. If I could grow a good moustache, I'd look like a renegade 80s PE teacher. The one that pushes the rules, but everyone quite likes them. But anyway, we are at the Specialized pits and they have a new downhill bike this weekend. Now, rumour has it Finn rode it during qualifying at Crankworx Innsbruck, but not the race, and he'll be riding it this weekend, but it's going to be under a cover. So there's not much I can really tell you except to follow the race, follow all the pictures, because I imagine we'll be better informed by the end of the weekend. But let's get on because we moustache to the next pits. Moustache. It. I think after 75 World Cups, 15 years of me pestering these people, I think we might be actually finally about to see the forbidden downhill bike. What's going on right now? We're getting shots. And I'm very scared that someone's going to say to stop getting shots. And because it's forbidden, I think the implications get into me that we shouldn't be here. And it's all too much. So we're here at the SRAM pits. There are some new calipers for the SRAM codes, and they're very easily identifiable because they're pretty big and very red. Now, these calipers use the same lever, or at least they do at the moment, as the current codes. But interestingly enough, they do look to be a bit bigger. They also have a shroud. Now, I don't know if that's there to kind of to hide them slightly, or if it was there as a mud cover, because in some ways, for a sport that happens almost entirely in mud, the mountain bike industry and us mountain bikers seem quite resistant or reluctant to protect them from mud. Like, how long has it taken to get bolt or mud guards? And I would love to see more mud covers to stop the mud coming in and over and into your pads, which can, grit, contamination, all that sort of stuff, can lessen the performance of your brakes. And the word on the street is they're going to be part of a kind of ongoing process throughout the season. So who knows when they'll be out. Hopefully it won't be too long though. So there we have some of the tech from the Lenzerheide World Cup. And I say some very much on purpose because, well, we didn't see that new demo. And the thing is, I say with the specialized bikes, they do tend to be very important. And I've once heard someone say that, what you see on the E-Class today is what other cars are going to have in 5 years. And to be honest, in some ways, that's sort of how specialized are. So now, I'm sure you're all bristling to watch the race. So please watch this space, not this space, but just the internet space. And hold tight because I think it's going to be an absolute banger. We're in Lenzerheide racing. I think it's going to be a good weekend. I really, really hope. We had a bit of a lull in Leergang. Hope we get up to the highs of Fort Bill. But thanks for watching, guys, and we will catch you next time. So, back so soon. I'm sorry you thought finally it's over. The tedium has ended. Something like blessed relief. But this Polestar car with some Polestar bikes just swung by our pits. So we're going to take a better look at them. The backstory is Polestar, which is sort of a racing division of Volvo, although initially they were just a tuning company, has teamed up with Bike, which is a Swedish bike manufacturer, and make these very, very light carbon wheels, as well as Öhlins, another Swedish bike parts manufacturer. Funnily enough, also with a history in automotive racing. And they thought, well, we'll throw it together and we'll see what we get. Now, of course, the Swedish have to labour under a very unfair stereotype that they're all minimalist, stylish, blonde and good looking. And so, sadly, I think this bike falls into a similar category. But it does look pretty good. Now, the full release will be coming, I've heard, pretty soon. But I mean, it's a gorgeous bike, I have to say. And I know you're at home wondering now, Henry, why don't you do more cross-country tech? Well, that's normally because for us, the cross-country teams get here when practice is happening, because I'm stuck in the pits. But this has been a welcome break. So a bit of a bonus check for you there. But yeah, the Polestar Edition Bike Alpha. It's pretty nice.
Right, so there's actually new bikes over here somewhere. Okay, so this is a bike.
Are you the new presenter?
Yeah, I've actually taken over from Henry. So,
Hi. They basically said, Henry, you're not allowed to work here unless you shave the moustache. And I quit on the spot. And you can
so I've got the job now. wait, let me think of a cool name. Amy Factory Racing TV.